Imagine you're driving and suddenly your vehicle plunges into water. What would you do? A chill runs down your spine just thinking about it, doesn't it? Now this is not your everyday scenario, but it's a situation that could happen to any of us when we least expect it. You're there, the water rising rapidly around you, your heart pounding like a drum, the glass windows fogging up and the world outside becomes a blurry mess. But here's the key, folks. Don't panic. Easier said than done, right? Yet, it's crucial. Your mind is your greatest ally in such dire circumstances. Your first instinct might be to call for help or reach for the seatbelt release, but remember, every action you take should be well thought out, because in such a life-threatening scenario, every second matters. The quicker you act, the higher your chances of survival. So, let's explore how to stay calm and survive a sinking vehicle. The first step towards survival is understanding your situation. Imagine you're in a vehicle that suddenly plunges into water. The initial shock is overwhelming, but your survival depends on quick thinking and understanding the situation you're in. You see, when a car is submerged, the water pressure outside becomes significantly higher than the pressure inside. This imbalance makes it nearly impossible to open the car door until the vehicle is fully submerged, and the internal and external pressures equalize. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But that's the science of it. Now let's talk about the initial steps. In this scenario, every second counts. Immediate action is crucial. Your first task should be to unfasten your seatbelt. It might seem like your only lifeline, but in reality, it's a shackle that could keep you trapped in the sinking vehicle. So unbuckle it as fast as you can. Next, you need to unlock the doors or windows. Why? Well, remember that high water pressure we talked about? It's going to make it nearly impossible to manually open the doors or windows once the car starts to fill up with water. If you have power windows, try rolling them down as quickly as possible. They usually work for a short while after the car hits the water. But what if the windows don't roll down? In that case, breaking the window might be your only option. Aim for the corners, as they're typically the weakest points. Understanding your situation also involves acknowledging the fear and panic that most certainly will set in. It's natural, but you need to fight it. Panic clouds judgment and slows reaction time. The key is to stay calm, think clearly, and act quickly. Remember, your immediate goal is to get out of the vehicle. This might seem obvious, but amidst the chaos and panic, it's easy to lose sight of this objective. Keep it front and center in your mind. It's your lifeline, your beacon of hope. In the next scene, we'll delve deeper into the escape plan, because knowing what to do is half the battle, and being prepared can make all the difference. Now that you understand the situation, let's formulate an escape plan. And trust me, in moments of panic, the simpler the better. So we're going to break it down into a clever little acronym. SWIM, easy to remember, right? It stands for seatbelts off, windows open, inhale and hold breath, and move out. First up, seatbelts. The moment you realize your vehicle is taking an unplanned dip, unbuckle that belt. It's like the starter's pistol at a race, signaling it's time to get moving. But remember, haste can lead to mistakes. So, unbuckle smoothly, not hastily. Next we have windows. Now you might think, why not the doors? Well, water pressure can make it nearly impossible to open doors. But windows, they're your ticket out. So roll them down or break them if you have to. And do this before the car is fully submerged. Time is of the essence here. Third, inhale. Get a good gulp of air and hold it. You're about to go for a swim, and you don't want to be gasping for air when you're underwater. But don't rush this step. You need to stay calm and focused. It's about being quick, but not hurried. Finally, move out. The moment your window is open and you've got a lungful of air, it's time to make your exit. Don't wait for the vehicle to fill up with water. The goal is to get out and swim to the surface as quickly as possible. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, but remember, panicking won't help. It's all about keeping a cool head. Practice this plan in your mind. Visualize each step. Remember, swim, seatbelts off, windows open, inhale, and move out. It's a simple plan, but one that could save your life. Following these steps could be the difference between life and death. So, stay calm, stay focused, and remember to swim. Next up, we're diving into underwater survival tactics, because sometimes, escaping is just the beginning of the adventure. Survival doesn't end once you're out of the vehicle. In fact, that's when a new chapter of your survival journey begins. You're underwater, the pressure is intense, and the surface seems miles away. But don't panic, because panic is the enemy of survival. Instead, focus on the task at hand, getting to the surface. You may feel disoriented at first, but remember, bubbles always rise. Follow them, they're your underwater North Star. Don't rush though, you need to conserve energy. Swimming is not about speed, it's about efficiency. Think of yourself as a submarine, not a speedboat. Use your entire body, kick from the hips, not the knees, and keep your movements smooth and fluid. Now let's talk about buoyancy, that invisible force that keeps things afloat. In water, heavy objects sink and lighter objects float. If you've got heavy items on you, let them go. They're anchors weighing you down. But what about your clothes? Contrary to popular belief, they're not your enemy. Sure, they create drag, but they also trap air, which can help you float. So keep them on, unless they're soaked and heavy. Now, if you're wondering how to breathe underwater, sorry to break it to you, but you can't. You're not a fish. However, if you happen to have an air pocket in your clothes or a floating object nearby, use it to take a quick breath. Remember, every second is precious. Don't waste them on unnecessary movements or trying to save material possessions. Focus on the goal, getting to the surface. Surviving underwater is not about being the strongest swimmer, it's about being the smartest. It's about staying calm, conserving energy, and making smart decisions. After all, survival isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. So keep these tips in mind the next time you're in deep waters, literally or metaphorically. Because surviving underwater is about staying calm, conserving energy, and making smart decisions. So you've escaped the sinking vehicle. What next? Well, let's delve into the post-escape actions. You see, surviving the initial danger is only half the battle. There's still work to be done. First things first, you need to get yourself to safety. That may mean swimming to shore or climbing onto a nearby object. Remember, your survival instinct is your best friend here. It's got your back and it's going to help you reach a safe place. Now once you're in a secure location, it's time to call for help. Use your mobile phone if it's still functioning, if not, signal for help in any way you can. Wave your arms, shout, use a whistle if you've got one. The key is to make yourself visible and audible. Next, it's time to address any injuries you may have sustained. If you've been hurt during your escape, it's crucial to administer first aid. Now, I'm not saying you need to be a trained medic, but basic first aid knowledge can go a long way. Clean any open wounds to prevent infection. If you're bleeding, apply pressure to stop it. If you suspect a bone is broken, try to immobilize it. But here's the thing. Even if you don't see any apparent injuries, it's still crucial to seek medical attention as soon as possible. You see, the adrenaline rush from such a traumatic event can mask pain. You might have internal injuries that aren't immediately noticeable. So getting checked out by a professional is non-negotiable. Remember, escaping a sinking vehicle isn't just about getting out of the car. It's about getting out alive and staying alive. It's about knowing what to do once you're out, who to call for help, and how to take care of yourself until that help arrives. Escaping a sinking vehicle is just the first step. Ensuring your safety afterwards is equally important. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. In the unimaginable event of a vehicle sinking, the first step is grasping your situation. It's crucial to remain calm, keep your wits about you, and act swiftly. Next, we move on to the escape plan. We've learned that the best bet is to unbuckle, break the window, and get out. However, remember that timing is key. If water hasn't yet filled the car, it's the perfect time to escape. Then we delved into underwater survival tactics. It's all about conserving energy, staying buoyant, and seeking help. Finally, we discussed post-escape actions. From signaling for help to administering first aid, these are the steps that ensure you get to safety after escaping the vehicle. In conclusion, this journey has been about understanding, planning, executing, surviving, and ultimately, living. Remember, while we hope you'll never need to use this information, being prepared can save your life.